I remember the sound before anything else, the slap of thick envelopes hitting the kitchen counter. Avery Lane froze mid-stride as her husband, Damon, leaned back in his chair with that smug, lazy grin he reserved for moments when he thought he'd won. "Pack your bags," he said, voice dripping with triumph. "I don't need you anymore. I'm set for life." The confidence in his tone was almost theatrical. Damon always loved the performance of power more than the power itself. Avery stared at the divorce papers without blinking. She didn't flinch, didn't tremble, didn't give him the satisfaction of a reaction. She simply took the pen, flipped to the signature line, and signed in a steady, practiced stroke. He laughed like she'd handed him a victory. "There we go," he said. "Finally doing what you're told." She closed the folder, pushed it toward him, and walked down the hall without a word. Damon mistook silence for surrender. He always had. When she rolled her single suitcase out the door, his parting shot echoed behind her. "Don't worry, sweetheart. Maybe you'll land on your feet someday." He didn't notice the absence of heartbreak in her eyes. He didn't know she had stopped loving him long before he replaced her. And he definitely didn't know just how much she knew. Damon had many flaws, subtlety wasn't one of them. His new cologne, not the one Avery bought. His late-night meetings. The gym membership he only used at 10:30 p.m. The lipstick on his shirt, coral red, a color Avery hadn't worn since college. But the real giveaway had been the iCloud sync. Damon never paid attention to technology, just used whatever Avery programmed for him. He hadn't realized his new smartwatch was still paired to her old iPad. So when a flood of messages loaded, hearts, hotel dates, photos he thought he'd deleted, Avery simply sat there, scrolling, calm as ice. Her grief burned out that night. Cold clarity took its place. She didn't confront him. She didn't cry. She simply observed what he always forgot. Real revenge isn't loud. It's strategic. Damon's beloved inheritance from his late grandmother was scheduled to be finalized soon. He had bragged about it for years, the ranch in Montana, the investment portfolio, the lakeside property she'd bought decades ago. He claimed he was the golden boy, the chosen heir. Avery listened. She nodded. She held her tongue. But Damon never visited his grandmother in the final years of her life. Avery did. She took her to appointments. She helped with medications. She cooked when Damon was too busy. She held the old woman's hand on nights when the pain was too much. They talked for hours about the kind of things Damon didn't care to remember. When the lawyer called Avery after the funeral, she assumed it was to handle household logistics. She didn't expect to be added to the will. Damon certainly didn't. The day of the will reading felt like a pressure cooker ready to burst. The office smelled like mahogany and money, Damon's favorite combination. He swaggered in wearing a new suit, wrist flashing a watch his mistress bought him. Avery sat quietly across the room, hands folded neatly. Damon didn't look at her. He looked through her. The attorney cleared his throat. "We'll begin." Damon slouched back, waiting for the confirmation of his imagined empire. But then the attorney read, "To my grandson, Damon Hale, I leave my vintage car collection and the photo albums." Damon blinked. "And the properties?" he asked. The attorney continued. "And to the woman who showed me compassion, who stood by me when others did not, who treated me like family." His eyes shifted to Avery. "I leave my entire estate and financial assets." Silence dropped like a stone. Damon's jaw unhinged. His body folded, collapsing to his knees right on the polished hardwood. "No," he whispered. "No. She manipulated you, she tricked you. This is supposed to be mine." His voice cracked into frantic, sharp fragments. He turned toward Avery, crawling closer, like proximity could reverse a legal document. "Avery, baby, listen, we can fix this. We can be together again. I messed up. I was stupid. We can." She looked at him with the same calm detachment he used when he tossed her out like trash. "You replaced me long before you left," she said quietly. "She replaced you the moment the money disappeared." He froze. Because outside, in the car, his mistress had closed the door. Locked it. Refused to look at him. Funny how quickly loyalty shrivels when the bank account does. Avery walked out of that office with the will in her hand and freedom in her chest. She didn't feel triumphant. She didn't feel victorious. She felt peaceful. She moved into her new home, his grandmother's lakeside house, and sat on the porch that evening, watching the water stay perfectly still. No fireworks. No celebration. Just quiet. Because revenge, real revenge, isn't fire or fury. It's gravity. You don't push. You don't scream. You don't fight. You simply step aside and let their world collapse under the weight of their own lies. And that night, Avery Lane finally breathed.